Boom! And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Dream Chasers, where hustle meets house. Our show is powered by House of Hustle. You can go to houseofhustletd.com for more information, which is interesting because we're not going to be talking about House of Hustle today. We're going to be talking about a little bit of a Toolroom story. Surprise. You guys know I love Toolroom and the amazing, beautiful people that we have on the show here today. We've got Costa UK, we've got CHANNE, we've got Kid Cut. And we're doing this episode as a storyline and a little bit of a hype builder for a record that all four of us, yes, all four of us chefs got in the kitchen. And we have a record coming out on Toolroom at the end of the month here in January 2025. So on that note, we'll just go ahead and dive straight into it. Everyone that you're going to see here on the show today has been on the podcast before. So if you just Google their name and Dream Chasers, I'm sure you can watch a previous episode. Costa, I think you're on like actually, I think everyone here has been on more than one except for Nick, Kid Cut. So, anyways, good to have you guys all here. But before we hit record, all four of us were trying to, or I was trying to think how we got this idea to make a record together, and then Shan was like, "Adam, I think it was you." I'm like, "Really?" So I remember now because you just told me before we hit record. But for the sake of the audience and our listeners, Shan, could you kind of go through what you remember, and then we'll have Nick and Costa kind of fill in along the way.
Yeah, sure. So I'm pretty sure, and Nick can back me up on the chat because I know he was checking on the chat a minute ago, that you got in touch with us and you were like, guys, you are my like Spotify recommended algorithm artists, like people who like my stuff, like your stuff. Should we collab? It kind of makes sense, sort of thing. And I think it went from there, really.
You're right. That is what happened, and I was shocked to hear that. But I'm like, wait, no, that is exactly what happened. So now everyone on this episode here is also kind of at a different phase in their journey as an artist, as a producer, as a DJ. I didn't realize until I got closer with Nick. Like you've really, I think you're probably is it close between you and Costa. Who's been at it longer? You or Costa? I don't even know.
In terms of making music
Making
or
music, DJing, all that stuff.
uh,
Mm.
for me, it kind of came in two sort of different bits. I was interested in DJing first. I started DJing in about 2003, 2004, and then I started producing 10 years after that. So there was kind of a bit of a gap between starting to DJ and starting to make music. Yeah, I like to think after about 12 years of making music, I'm starting to get the hang of it, but that's up for debate.
Yeah, he's longer than me for sure. I've been making music for like 8 years, more or less.
Okay.
And DJing, I think around 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Kid Cut, you got us beat. But
Yeah.
let's dive more into the storyline here. I remember we were in a group chat on Instagram, so anyone who's in Toolroom Academy, if you want to replicate what we've done here, honestly, we got this one out of the Low Secca playbook. If anyone remembers the record, I think Delirio, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It had like us, it had like 8 people on the record, So great song though. So we copied that one. Shout out to Lowe's. But we get high from the music. That was our reference track. Who was the one who threw that out first? Is what I'm trying to remember as our reference track.
I thought was it Nick? Was it you,
Maybe.
Nick?
I really like that record. That for me, that one's always been a kind of a bit of a reference track for the label. I really like it, and I think I think we probably all knew it. So having it as a kind of maybe a kind of a feeling or a bit of a style that we wanted to go to was something that a track that we all had knew a little bit, so we could maybe that maybe sort of drew us together in some ways in terms of kind of what we were aiming for.
And now I'm reliving this all in my head now. I remember, honestly, this is probably why we have her first on the record. Shan was the first one to really roll up her sleeves, like, all right, boys, get out of the way. I'm going to take the lead on this. Did a great job. Can you walk us through, like, you really started the production groundwork for the project, Shan. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I think, well, if I remember rightly, I think Nick had found a good like synth lead And
Yes.
then I think no, Costa, you started first with the beats, didn't you, Stefano? You did the
Yeah, I
beats
think so. Yeah, yeah,
first.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, you did. Yeah, so you had a demo first. Then Nick jumped in as well. Then did I go next? And I went, I'll try and arrange it.
I think
Which
you did the arrangement.
Yeah.
yeah. So I did an arrangement, and then you jumped in, Adam, didn't you?
I jumped in and I think you guys were being polite to me because I don't know if it was on the first go or the second go, but I really tried to push some original vocals in there,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I would agree with what I remember the feedback being, which is like it probably just not going to work on on this track, right?
Yeah,
And
I think the vocals were cool, but they were maybe like too personal to us to appeal to everybody. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
the vocals had all of our all of our names in it, ladies and
Mm.
gentlemen. So,
That could be like a special edit, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. DJ edit.
but yeah, no, I well, so that's right. Shan did the original arrangement, then I got to work on it. Costa, where did you come in? Because you started getting into the arrangement at some point as well.
Well,
Uh,
yeah,
I think
Costa did a lot. We pretty much redid it, didn't we?
Well, yeah,
yes,
I
yes.
remember.
Then
it was done in
Shane,
two
yeah,
stages, yeah.
yeah. Then Shane take the track and completely like redid it again, and then she sent it to me, and then I kind of finish with the last beats. I think it was like that.
Where
Yeah, you
so
did a lot, Costa, as well. You know, he's
We
the
all
man.
did.
He's the man.
We all did.
Nick, were you I'm trying to remember now, were you just working your Jedi mind tricks on us this whole time? When did you come in and put your time in on the record?
Gosh. Well, it's funny, isn't it? It feels like it was a long time ago, and I don't know if it
It
was or
was it
whether it
was
just
now,
feels
wasn't
like
It
a
it?
was.
long time ago.
It was very long. Yeah.
Um, I really enjoyed it. It was just it was nice to have other sets of ears to listen to it and to discuss the way those kind of like different ideas from four producers were coming together. Because it's I don't know about you guys, it's a bit tricky sometimes if it's just you.
Yeah. It's
You
not
just
easy.
kind of go either yes or no. There's no one to sort of bounce ideas off, and this was a really nice
It's
way
not
to
easy to have
have
like
that
four
feedback.
different ideas, four different people working in one record. Can get a bit like
Yeah.
no.
I've not really done many collaborations before, and in the past, I've only really ever worked with one person. So this is, even try, doing it with more than one person was really cool.
Was fun.
It's a 3x for you. Uh wow. So the number one thing that I remember with the record is we got to a point where honestly the first version of this record I thought sounded pretty similar to We Get High from the Music. Like we really nailed the reference track
Yes.
and
I thought
collective.
we like used a couple of elements from it,
Yeah.
or we found
Yeah.
samples that were very similar,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then we kind of had a bit of a think, and we were like, maybe this is a bit
Too similar.
too close.
Yeah, I
Let's try and do
think
something a bit different with
The
it.
bass
I
line
think
was really similar actually.
yeah, I think when we went to the when we went to the Toolroom live event and we heard the feedback about not about using reference tracks, but trying to not replicate them exactly or too close, and then we kind of had a rethink, didn't we? And we were like, maybe it's too close. Maybe we should, adjust and go with something that's more unique. Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's spot on, and I still wish I guess I was there visibly with
Visibly,
you
yes.
guys at the
You were
event.
there in cardboard, not in person.
Yes.
Right. Now that the kids are getting a little bit older, I think at one of these I'm just my wife knows I'm just ready to get over there and do some networking and see you guys. So I've even pitched the idea of living in the UK for like 3 months or something like that. So
There's one coming up this later this year,
Yeah. Yeah.
when
I think it's in June, but I'm not
June.
sure.
June, yeah.
June, okay, cool. Is it London or Maidstone?
London. It's at
London.
Fabric.
It's a fabric. It's gonna be big.
Yes.
It's going to be really cool.
Sick.
Tell my American mind what Fabric is.
It's a very famous club in London.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we got Miami coming up here. I know 80 was one I really for 2025 want to shoot for. So, but back to the record, yeah, guys. It's been a lot of fun. I think we'll go one at a time so everyone kind of get some spotlight here too. I'm just looking on my screen. I got Costa, Nick, and Shan. We'll go in that direction. But what was your biggest takeaway from this experience with you're a chef, right? 4 chefs in the kitchen.
I think was like I never did a track with so many people, and was like to get everyone's ideas, you know what I mean, and try to break it in pieces. And it's okay, this works, this actually doesn't work, you know what I mean, and have 4 different minds working in one record. So this is why it takes probably longer than I normally take to make a song, but this is what I take, yeah, the experience.
Good cut. What about you?
I think in terms of what I've taken away from it, I'm less afraid of collaborating now. It's always been something that I've been slightly hesitant of, and this track has made me think, well, hang on, I'm still able to add to the track, but if I've got other producers helping me and we're all making the art a little bit better, then that has to be that's a positive thing. And I think the where the record has ended up is proof that maybe sometimes four sets of keyboard skills are better than one.
Shan?
Yeah, biggest takeaway from me is like how we all like how we knew that like each time like we were really into it, but like it wasn't the one. And kind of I think when the track is the one, and we didn't just go with the first, or we didn't just throw anything together and try and slam it out there. We waited until we knew it was the right time, the right feel, because it really does sound like a Toolroom Tracks track.
Yeah.
So that's when isn't it? I could see Toolroom DJs playing it. I could see it being on the album. So I think that's when it's the right time.
Yeah, yeah.
100%. Every every Leaders of the New School compilation that I've observed so far, and shout out to Costa. I think Costa has like 8 releases on Leaders at the 4. Is this number 4 or is this number 5?
Yeah, 4, 4.
4, okay.
Yeah.
But every I feel like every compilation kind of has its flagship record, if you will, or maybe like the one or two that really stand out. And to your point, Shan, other DJs, Toolroom associates will go ahead and pull and put into their playlists and their sets. So maybe a little favoritism here. Danny put this one out there, but like I feel like we have a real contender for like probably, and I haven't heard any of the records on the release yet, but I'm just feeling really good about what we've done. So we'll see how the eardrums and the numbers perform. That my biggest takeaway from working with everyone here is I mean, it's mind-blowing what you can do from anywhere in the world now. We're all in different locations. There's this theory that I think when you get a group of people together, normally about 20% of that group will do 80% of the work. And I'm not afraid to say it. Like Costa and Shan really went hard on this thing to the point where, and Nick, you could beat me up if I'm playing you and mine's involvement.
No.
But there was a point after, to Shan's point, with the first record where we got it to a spot where I felt like pretty comfortable with where it's at. I'm like, it is what it is. If it performs well, it doesn't, and it didn't get picked up. And honestly, I think Shan and Costa were the ones who were like, hey, let's keep pushing. Like, let's make this work. And you guys deserve to be number 1 and number 2 on the on the release. So that's my biggest takeaway is you could get a lot done with, I guess, like Nick was saying, with a group like this. So well, we're recording this January 2025. Let's go ahead and give everyone a little highlight, a little spotlight. We'll go Shan, Kid Cut, Costa back down the line. But what are you working on now, and what are you excited about for this year?
Yeah, excited about. I've got a little documentary coming up on Toolroom, so they came to mine to film
That's
me.
hot.
So you will be finding out a lot about me on around mid-January time. No spoilers.
Oh, no.
So that's quite exciting. And in terms of music, I've kind of really turned a corner and discovered like what I really want to make and my sound. I've been a bit all over the place, which I think is totally fine in your first like few years. But I've really kind of decided that like the minimal into tech, into garage side of things is where I'm going to be going this year, and
Okay.
I'm really excited to make it. So
Is that
positive.
is the record you have signed with Flash Mob reflective of that vibe?
That was actually signed about a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've just got the release.
Wow.
But funnily enough, Dean Ramirez's remix on that of our record, which is coming out with that, that's more my vibe now.
Okay.
But it's
That's
still, I'm
very cool
still,
that you got that remix. That is amazing.
yeah,
Yes.
It
we
sounds
are.
awesome. I've heard the like the little pre-order clip.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, we
Seriously.
were absolutely buzzing that Dean agreed to remix it. So yeah, excited for that.
Yeah, legend of the game. Shout out to D Ramirez if you're listening right now. Much and actually D helped us with this record too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he threw ears on it and guided
Yeah.
us a bit, didn't he, at the start?
Yeah.
Legend. Um, Kid Cut, we were just talking about it before I hit record. Welcome to fatherhood, parentshood. Oh, by the way, everyone, we got
We got-
all moms and dads on the
Yeah.
podcast today.
uh,
What are you working on now and what are you excited for this year?
So I am working on trying to sort the desktop on my laptop out, which I
Big
think is
job.
something that I hope people can relate to. And Shan, I saw your video about you kind of getting set up with the new one the other
Yeah.
day. My plan was to like migrate everything across, except everything on the old desktop, because I've got like 20 projects on there. And
Oh,
every
wow.
time I go on, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna like tweak this project. I'm just gonna tweak that one. And I think 2025 is about trying to create a bit of a clean slate and just seeing where that takes me for the rest of the year.
That's the best. That's the most dad answer I think you could have.
Yeah, I think becoming a dad has probably kind of been part of that backup on the desktop, but yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, congratulations, and that's awesome. Do you got any other releases you're excited about this year? By the way,
Not at the moment. No releases locked in for the time being. But yeah, you wait till that desktop's clean.
nice. Costa, chef. If you guys don't, he posts sometimes on Instagram some of the stuff he's doing as a chef. Top notch chef, based out of London, right?
Yeah,
If anyone
yeah.
looking for one. So, but what are you
Yeah.
cooking up this year, and what are you working on right now?
I'm making a lot of disco house this year. Yeah, I have a lot of releases are coming. I think I'm getting more music this year out than last year. So yeah, it's looking quite busy. But yeah, and I want to try to do more radio shows as well, actually this year. So
Cool.
because I have my schedule almost not for the whole year, but it's almost it's looking quite good. So I have a bit more time to do a bit more radio show. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I'm sure you guys have noticed that with Costa's music too. I got a comment on it when he says it, but and Shannon might validate what you're saying as well. He's definitely found his sound, right? Mr. Disco Costa, Mr. Disco House UK.
Yeah, Mark Knight is a big fan of you, isn't he?
Yeah, he played my last release, I think, twice in Keys already. So yeah, that's quite cool. Yeah, I'm going more into the disco. Is what I didn't know until I actually did it. I was always making like more tech house stuff, but then I started making disco and somehow I don't know, it feels natural when I make it. So and I love making it. It's so much fun. Like seriously.
You
Yeah.
think a Fool's Paradise release is in your future?
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Gotta manifest it.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Who knows?
Good humble answer in case Mark's listening right now. But yeah, personally, and you guys might have picked up on this a little bit. I mean, I've really been working closely with the founder of House of Hustle. Shout out to Patrick Stett. We've got some exciting things in plans for the label this year, and that would require me getting more involved. So I don't want to go ahead and speak too soon, similar to Shan, and label myself within the label. But there's just some really exciting projects that we're looking at, just growing the brand. And yeah, so if you don't follow House of Hustle, go ahead and do it right now. They're the ones who power this show, Dream Chasers. What else? I mean, actually, it's shifting back real quick to music too. I think I have like 5 or 6 records queued up for release so far this year. And oh, and how could I forget? I've made the decision to I'm just started working on an album like a couple weeks ago, and I think I am gonna do the tunnel vision thing. And who knows? God knows how long it's gonna take. But I heard Marshall Jefferson say in an interview, like, I don't know, it was maybe like recorded like a year ago, but he was like, if you want to, or if he was a young artist trying to stand out, what would he do? And he was like, I would put an album out because it's just not as common right now for obvious reasons too. It's a lot of work. So as soon as I heard the Godfather of House say make an album, I'm like, all right, I think I'm gonna go for it. So so yeah, exciting stuff. We'll go through one more time for everyone tuned in right now if they want to follow up and get in touch with anyone on the show. Costa, we'll go back down the line that way. Costa, Kid Cut, Shan, what's the best way for listeners to follow up and get in touch with you?
Instagram and Spotify, Costa UK Music.
Nick.
Same for me. So I'm probably most active on Instagram, which is at KidCutUK. And then I've got a page on Spotify as well.
And me?
And you.
Yeah, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Is that all of them? I forget. And God, there's so many, it's hard to keep up. And I'm Shan Music, but it's spelt weird, so it's CHANNE. Shan, Shani, whatever you want to call me, music.
There we go, guys. Go follow them all. You could find me on social media as well at General Moses 9. And how could I forget? I just realized I don't think we actually said the name of the record on the interview. So the name of our record coming out January 31st on Toolroom Leaders of the New School 2025 is Bailando, which, yes, in Spanish means dancing. I think Costa's the closest one to speaking Spanish on the team, but it's Portuguese. So
yeah.
So we'll say we got the idea from him. But yeah, guys, get ready. It's a weapon. And feel free to hit any of us up if you want to get the promo or start playing it out before the release. We might be able to make that happen. So again, this has been another episode of Dream Chasers, your home for house music, where hustle meets house. Go to houseofhustleltd.com for more information there. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. Remember, in all you think, say, and do, take it to the next level.